They really have to be fully aligned. And it's not something that has to be a forever alignment. It really has to be year over year. What is everybody's goal? Or how are you making sure everybody's rowing in the same direction for that year? So that's number one. And number two is really the competencies. What makes somebody successful in these roles for your company? And it's too often where the competencies are just kind of overlooked in terms of, oh, well, it's just an HR thing. It's just just need somebody to show up on time, make sure they're getting everything done. It's like, no, what are the true competencies that make a sales and marketing professional successful at your organization? And how do they align with your core values? They have to be very specific in terms of how they are aligning with your company and its culture.
And Anthony, between you and I, the marketing folks aren't listening. We know it's usually marketing's fault, not sales' fault.
Yeah, I beg to differ. Thank you. I beg to differ. Thank you very much. So when it comes to things like that you speak about, Anthony, I'm a big data guy. If you've listened to the podcast before, data helps drive me forward in terms of me being successful. Every one of us, whether it be sales or be marketing, we have a set KPIs that we follow. From an HR perspective, seeing what our two worlds are, what type of KPIs would an HR professional be looking at?
So I think it depends on the organization, whatever those exactly, like you said, specific KPIs. Now, that's one area where HR can help guide a little bit, but really the sales and marketing team, because they're the professionals and they have the full background in it, should be driving exactly what KPIs make your teams tick. So, and the other thing is it has to be aligned again with the overall organizational goals. So does the organization just want to steadily kind of grow year over year and focus just on revenue growth in the areas that they're focused on? Or do they want to start opening up new markets, look at key accounts? What do they want to do from an organizational standpoint that'll drive the overall growth? So making sure that sales and marketing are both pointed in that direction. So I think that's where HR can really help guide that discussion about, okay, here's your KPI, sales and marketing. How are each of your team members evaluated on it? Again, this is something that is looked at as that HR thing over there. How are we truly evaluating performance based on their goals, targets, and their competencies to make sure that the objectives and key results are really where the company needs them to be? So that's really what I see where HR's focus is, not only on the evaluating performance, but also on the compensation strategy. How are sales professionals being compensated? How are marketing professionals being compensated to make sure it's aligned with the behaviors and the results you want to see?